In the beginning, everything looked like a blessing. The day I married Abusive, the sun shone as if God himself smiled upon us. Drums beat loudly, women danced with wrappers tight around their waists, and my mother held my hands gently and whispered, "NNE, marriage is patience." I believed her. I believed in love. I believed in us. As I stepped into the new home Abusive had prepared, my heart was full of hope. Those early months were warm, peaceful, and full of promises whispered between soft breaths at night. I thought I had found safety. I thought I had found a home. But shadows have a way of sleeping in quietly. The first slap came unexpectedly. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't even the worst pain I had ever felt. But the sting on my cheek burned something deeper inside me, something my heart wasn't ready to name. "The food wasn't warm enough," he said. His voice was cold, unfamiliar. He apologized the next morning with flowers from the junction and stories about stress at work. I forgave him. I wanted to believe the man I loved was still the man standing in front of me. Then children came, Chisholm first, then little Lotana, two beautiful souls whose laughter filled every corner of our small home. Their tiny footsteps softened the tension that started living between us. I prayed motherhood would change him, steady him, remind him of love. But instead, the change grew darker. He complained about everything. Money. Noise. Responsibilities. He acted like fatherhood gave him authority, not duty. And without saying a word, the weight of the home quietly shifted onto my shoulders. Bills piled up like an unending storm. School fees. Rent. Food. Medical bills. Each time I asked for help, his voice rose like thunder. "Am I not trying? Do you want to disgrace me?" Yet he never provided. I sold my wrappers. I catered late into the night. I took small loans I hid in shame. I carried the home on my back while he carried nothing but his own pride. Then came the perfume. Thick. Sweet. Feminine. Not mine. He avoided my eyes that night. "You're imagining things," he said, but guilt lived in the shadows of his silence. His late-night calls, whispered conversations in the bathroom, sudden trips, all of it pointed to a truth I prayed was a lie. Until the day a neighbor touched my arm at the market and said quietly, "NNE, I've seen your husband with one girl at New Haven." My chest tightened. My breath stilled. When I confronted him, he laughed so loud the children woke up. "You think I'll be stuck with only you? Look at yourself," he spat, his words slicing into the fragile pieces of me. That was the day something died inside me. And that was also the day the monster fully revealed itself. The abuse escalated. Not just slaps anymore, but pushing, shoving, yelling, threats. Plates smashed against walls. Doors banged so hard the windows rattled. Bruises I hid under long sleeves even in the heat of harmattan. My children began to fear the sound of their father's footsteps. They would run under the table whenever he stormed into the room. And one night, my 7-year-old son, with trembling lips, whispered, "Mommy, is Daddy going to kill you?" I held him tight and lied through my tears, "No, my son. That will never happen." But inside, I wasn't so sure. Abusive abandoned his responsibilities completely. School fees. Mine. Hospital bills. Mine. Everything. Mine. He spent his money on drinks, women, and nights out. He returned home only to control, insult, and remind us of the fear he carried on his skin like a second layer. The breaking point came quietly one night. He returned drunk, smelling of alcohol and another woman's perfume. He accused me of cheating, a projection of his own guilt. Before I could speak, his hand wrapped around my neck, and he slammed me against the wall. The children screamed. The world spun. My breath thinned. And that night, I hid with my children inside the bathroom until the F of dawn. I realized that if I didn't leave, I might not survive. At sunrise, with shaky hands and a breaking heart, I packed a small travel bag. Only clothes for the kids. Only documents. No memories. No attachment. Just survival. I wrapped my wrapper tightly and ran to my aunt's home in the next town. When she opened her door and pulled me into her arms, she said the words that wrapped around my wounds like healing balm: "You are safe here." But the storm followed us. Abusive came to the compound yelling, threatening, demanding. "You are my wife. You cannot leave me." Neighbors gathered. My aunt stood firm. And for the first time, I refused to go outside. For the first time, I didn't tremble. Not because I wasn't afraid, but because I was finally choosing myself. Social welfare stepped in. When they asked the children what happened, my son spoke through tears: "Daddy hits mommy, and us, we don't want to go home." Abusive's face cracked with shame, but even then he denied everything. His pride was too heavy to let him see his own reflection. Word spread quickly. His mistress heard. His friends heard. Even his drinking buddies mocked him. The mistress left him. His friends distanced themselves. Slowly, everything he used to hide behind began to collapse. But by then, I was already healing. I got a job at a catering company. My children went back to school. We found smiles that felt real again. We found peace in a way we had never known. Months passed. Then one day, I saw him standing at the gate of my workplace, thinner, quieter, humbled. "Eneni. I'm sorry," he whispered. "I realize what I did. I miss you. I miss the children." His remorse came too late, like rain after the harvest. I looked at him with a calm strength I never knew I had. "Abusive," I said, "you realized too late. I almost died in your house." I walked away, and this time, I did not look back. My children and I found a small apartment. It wasn't much, but it was ours. There were no shouting matches. No broken plates. No trembling footsteps. We woke up to peace every morning, and for the first time, peace stayed. I joined a support group for abused women and found my voice, a voice I had lost for years. And each time I shared my story, another woman found the courage to leave. One afternoon, a letter from Abusive arrived asking to see the children. I agreed, but only in a public place. He cried, begged, apologized. I forgave him, not because he deserved it, but because I needed my freedom more than I needed his guilt. But forgiveness was not an invitation back into my life. I walked away again, stronger. I started a small catering business at home. People didn't just come for my meals, they came for the peace around me, for the strength they saw in my eyes. I rebuilt myself from the ground up, brick by fragile brick, until I could stand tall again. Years later, when I look back, I do not thank the pain. But I thank the strength that grew from it. I thank the woman I became. My children grew happier, healthier, lighter. And I learned the most important truth: leaving the monster didn't break me. It saved me. I survived. I lived. And I rose.